All right, so here we have a 2007 Ford Escape. The customer doesn't have any AC. He has a little bit of front end damage that's pushed into the condenser. What we're going to do today is we're going to replace the condenser. We're going to do an AC compressor, the Orifice tube, and the receiver Drier, and get the system up to operating as it should. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this front little grill piece just so we can see the condenser. So we have some 10 millimeter bolts on the side. Little locking clamps on the side here. A little flathead screwdriver just to get these little clamps off. All right, so here we are under the car. We're going to go ahead and remove this shield. We have two 10 millimeter bolts here and a screw push pin back here. And then we're going to have some bolts along the front. So we'll go ahead and start taking those out now. All right, so next we want to remove the belt. So here we have our tensioner. There's a 3/8 like socket, hole in the tensioner. So we'll go ahead and use a 3/8 ratchet in the tensioner. And that loosen that. Pull our belt off. All right, just kind of set it off to the side. We have 4 mounting bolts right here for the compressor, and then our lines are mounted on the top. So we're going to go ahead and remove these. All right, so we have our electrical connector on top. A 10 millimeter bolt holding our AC line on the top. All right, and the system is empty. You know, it came in with no Freon or anything in it, so we don't have to worry about discharging the system. Okay. All right, so here we have a new compressor that we got from Auto Parts Direct to You. This comes as a complete kit. It comes with a new orifice tube, all of the service O-rings, and also the receiver dryer or accumulator, however you want to say it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and install the compressor now. This compressor, they do come with oil, so you don't have to worry about oiling the system. It already contains oil. All right, we already have our O-rings. Our new bolt, we'll go ahead and put it on just a tiny bit because our manifold line is just going to slip in and then go into the receiver grooves there. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our compressor up there now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our lines situated. All right, so you just got a couple bolts in there so we don't have to hold the weight of the compressor. Now we want to go ahead and tighten our top, the manifold line, the AC lines going to the back of the compressor there. The 10 millimeter, we're going to go ahead and get that tightened up now. Now we'll go ahead and plug our electrical connector in. All right, we'll go ahead and tighten up our mounting bracket. Okay, and go ahead and put our belt back on. Make sure we're in all the grooves everywhere, all right? All right, so now we'll go up top and we'll start doing what we need to do up there. All right, so now we're gonna do the condenser. The lines hook up for the condenser are behind the bumper, so it turns out we're gonna have to pull the bumper off. So We're going to go ahead and take off these couple pop screws right here. All right, so now we have two 10mm bolts at the bottom of the bumper. Oh, we got some turn signals. Our driving lights. Okay. All right, so the bumper, we have it off now. The reason why is these two bolts right here are where the lines bolt up to the condenser. All right, so you can see right here, you can see we have some damage. This whole car has been in a front end accident. So what's pushed into the condenser is where the leak is. All right, so we'll go ahead and start bending stuff out of the way. We need to bend this forward so we can get the condenser out of it. This is not something that we'd have to do normally to do a condenser. You shouldn't have to mess with these bolts. Right, so this is something that you're not going to have to mess with. It's just something that we have damage on. All right, so we'll go ahead and loosen up our line fittings here. This is a 13mm, a 1/2 inch. All right, so here we have our brackets that hold the radiator in and the top of the condenser. We'll go ahead and remove those brackets now. All right, so we have some 8mm bolts here we'll take out. All right, so we have another 8mm over here. We just want to loosen this line up, the mounting bracket. All right, so what I have here is an E8. This is an inverted Torx bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the studs from the mounting lines, just because I don't have enough room to pull them over top. All right, so here we have a new condenser that we got from Auto Parts Direct to You. So we just want to, lay them out together, make sure that all the mounting points, everything is right, is the same between the two. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll put this one in the vehicle now. All right, before we set that in, we'll go ahead and replace our two O-rings right here. All right, so now that we have our new O-rings on, what we want to do is just give them a little bit of oil, some refrigerant oil, just to help them seat. And I'm just going to kind of lay some of this stuff back in. I'm going to go ahead and just put my mounts back on top just to hold it in the position that we're going to need it in. Go ahead and thread our studs back in. All right, so now we're going to do the Orifice tube. It's going to be located in the line right here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and somehow remove this thing. There's safety. All right, we have a little special tool. The object of this tool is it has an offset on this side. There's a spring lock on the inside here, so we'll line it up with that on that side. All right, we'll go ahead and push it in. All right, so we pushed it in, and now we can just wiggle the line back. All right. Go ahead and pull the whole line out. Okay, so inside of here, we got a little tab. Go ahead and pull it out. Oh, we can see there. We can see all the trash. All right, so there we have our Orifice tube. You can see a lot of the reason why we did the compressor. There's a lot of trash. We have the little frictions from the compressor stuck on it. So those are all parts and pieces coming out of the compressor for the clutches. So this is pretty bad right there. So what we're going to do is, now that we've seen that, we've done the condenser, we've done the compressor, we're going to do the accumulator. We need to flush the evaporator out to make sure that we don't have any more of that trash still stuck in the system that will come through into our new parts. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the accumulator off. So we have two 10mm mounting bolts down below. All right, so we'll go ahead and disconnect our electrical connection. Oh, so I think it's right behind it. We'll go ahead and remove the line first. This thing here is in the way. There we go. All right, so we have another line disconnect tool. All right, so this line wraps around back to the evaporator core, so we'll go ahead and remove that one. Yeah, black is definitely it. Okay, black is it. All right, so black was the one that we wanted. All right, so these are in sizes. So black 5/8, white 3/4. So they are different sizes for different line fittings. All right. All right, so what we're going to do now is, so you had the orifice tube we pulled out, super dirty. So the flow is going to be coming into the accumulator. That's going to be a filter there, going through into the evaporator and then back around. So we're going to blow through on the accumulator side to push the debris. Actually, we're going to do that the other way. We're going to go from the line where the filter was, backflowing it, so we can push what had first entered the evaporator core. So if there's anything stuck in there, we'll be able to push it right back out. All right, so I just have a little piece of rubber hose that fits in here kind of nicely, because we want to blow air through. We don't want it to we want to try to seal it as best we can right here. All right. I'll go ahead and just put my rag on this side, try to see how much we could catch or whatnot. I just have some clear flush. This is AC flush. All right, I'm just gonna try not to let it blow back on me. And this is adjustable, so I can control the airflow. Back the other way. All right, so here we have our new receiver dryer or accumulator. We just want to make sure everything is the same positionings. We're going to have to transfer over the low pressure switch and the bracket. So we'll do the bracket first, kind of loose fitting until we get it mounted up, and then we'll worry about swapping over to low pressure after that. The only thing we do need to do is just add a little bit of refrigerant oil to this. We do have the compressor with oil in it. That's how it comes in the kit from Auto Parts Direct Use. So we'll just go ahead and just add a little bit for the absorption of the material inside here. Just a little tiny bit. All right. I'll go ahead and put my cap back on too while I install it. And just want to lube the O-rings up a little bit here. All right, so we'll go ahead and remove our bracket. All right, so it's going to be like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this in the car now. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our accumulator in here positioned. Oh, yeah, good times. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the cap from one side. Go ahead and clip it into place. All right, so we have our upper. We'll go ahead and clip it into place. All right, so now now that we have the lines connected, we'll go ahead and tighten up all of our mounting. I'm going to go ahead and put the mounting bolts on first. Then we'll go back and we'll tighten the mount on the accumulator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten our clamp around the accumulator. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our locks back on our lines. All All right, so here we have our low pressure switch, 17 millimeter. We'll go ahead and take that off. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove our cap. Put our sensor on. Make our electrical connection. All right, so here we have our orifice tube. We'll go ahead and give it a little lube. That way, you know, we got some O-rings right here. We'll go ahead and give that just a little bit of lube. Make it easier to go in. All right, so just want to hold it by the tip and slide it in. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and replace these O-rings right here. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put our bumper back on. Make our lighting connections first. One there. One there. And just going to put a little bolt in here just to hold it. Get this side lined up. All right, we'll go up in there. All right, so here we have our set of gauges. We're going to go ahead and hook them up now. So we have our high side service port here. Our low side service port here. All right, and then down here We have a vacuum pump, so you can rent these at your local auto parts store. So this is basically to bring the system, all the moisture out of the system, to bring the system under a vacuum. That will boil out any moisture. Moisture keeps your AC from being efficient. All right, so have everything hooked up. Our gauges are off. Our knobs are turned off. We'll go ahead and turn the pump on. All right, so we're at 0. We're going to go ahead and open our low side and then our high side, which will bring the vacuum into the system. All right, so the rule of thumb is we want to get to 30 inches, and that'll take about 30 minutes. And that will bring all the moisture out of the system, put it under a vacuum, and then the Freon will be pulled in by the vacuum that we're putting in there. So we'll go ahead and let this sit for a little bit, and then we'll charge the system up. All right, so we have just a couple of minutes of run time. We've pulled some vacuum. We're just going to do a little quick check. What we're going to do is we put the system under a vacuum. We're going to go ahead and shut the valves off. All right, so that will hold the vacuum in the AC system. So what we're doing now is if we have a leak, the leak we'll lose our vacuum. All right, so we're staying stable. So that's telling us that all of our O-ring connections and all of our connections, there's no leak. So that's kind of a quick check just to make sure before you put all that time into the 30 minutes. All right, so we look good. We haven't moved any, so we know our system is sealed. We'll go ahead and open it back up to get the moisture out. Now we'll let it hang out for about 30 minutes. All right, so now we've let the vehicle sit for about a half hour under a vacuum. We'll go ahead and shut off our valves on our gauges here. Turn off our machine. Okay, so we're holding really good vacuum. Yep, real good. All right, so now we have the line that was to the vacuum, the yellow line here. We'll go ahead and put a can of Freon on that. All right, so we just have a can of Freon. It's got about 12 fluid ounces in it. On our vehicles, we'll have stickers underneath the hood. It'll tell you what the maximum operating charge. So we're looking at 32 ounces. So we're going to be about 2.5 cans or so, but we'll know by the gauges when we get where we need to be. All right, so we'll go ahead and hook our can up. Open up the low side system. All right, so we've jumped up. You see our liquid going in. I have the can upside down, so we're liquid charging it right now. This would not be recommended if the vehicle was running, because we have a chance of damaging the compressor. But right now, our vacuum is what's pulling in the system. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and turn our gauge set off here. We're going to go ahead and start the vehicle up. Yep, there it went. All right, so we started the vehicle up. We turned the AC on. We'll go ahead and get the rest of our see how it sucked it out real quick when the compressor came on. All right, we'll go ahead. This can is empty. We'll go ahead and turn this off. We pulled in what was in that line. No more fluid there. We'll go ahead and get another can. So what we're witnessing right now is this is a low charge short cycling. So it's short cycling from the electronics on the low pressure switch and the high pressure switch. So what we want to do is we want to balance this thing out somewhere in the 30 to 40. We want to be somewhere over here in the little over 200 to 250, somewhere like that. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce another can of Freon. Okay, so everything looks like it should be. We're going to go ahead and turn the AC off for a couple seconds and then go ahead and turn the AC back on. Which is stable because it equalizes, you know what I mean, it equalizes the system. Now we need to push liquid over to one side and gas over to the other within the system. So that's what we're watching it do that. All right, 30 and 210. We look good. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll shut the car off, disconnect our gauges, and then we're ready to take it for a test drive.